Welcome. This video will demonstrate the capabilities of the Formtek File Linking Extension for Alfresco. The Formtek File Linking Extension provides support for various releases of Alfresco 4 and Alfresco 5. Consult the Formtek website for more detailed information about the versions of Alfresco that we support. Duplication is a bad thing in a content management system. Having multiple copies of the same document inevitably leads to confusion about which instance of the document is the correct one to use. This bloats the system and weakens the integrity of your content management solution. However, often having a document visible in multiple locations can be beneficial. You may want to have useful documents available temporarily in the same folder as a project you're working on, or collect policy and procedure documents from multiple departments into a single folder. Creating links allows you to benefit from a visual representation of the original file without the burden of managing multiple physical copies. Additionally, links never go out of date. A link to a file will always represent the latest version of the original file. Let's go over the key features of the Formtek File Linking Extension. Links are standalone pointers to items. You can create as many links to a document as you want, but only a single copy of the content will be stored in the system. You can create links for any piece of content except folders. Both links and parent items are visually identifiable by the presence of a link icon. Links are additionally identified with a watermark on the thumbnail. Hovering over the link icon will give you additional information about the link or the parent, including how many links have been created from that parent. You can create a link using the Create Link action from the Document List or Document Details pages. You can do this from either the document library or the repository. These commands are also available from the Selected Items menu, allowing you to create links to multiple documents at one time. For links, you have the option to locate the linked item, which is the parent of the link, or to delete the link. These actions are also available from the document library and the repository. Now, let's take a look at the file linking extension. I'm logged into Alfresco as my demo user, Frank Smith. Let's get into the FT Engineer site and then into the document library. So let's say that I need to create a new statement of work document for a new project, and I'd like to find an easy way to refer to similar documents from other projects while I'm working. If I was the only person working on this project, I could find similar documents and mark them as favorites so that I could easily refer to them during the project. Unfortunately, if I have coworkers who are helping me with this project, they won't have visibility to the items that I've marked as favorites. So instead, I can create links to the related documents inside my new project folder so that those documents are easily accessible to all members of my team. So let's create a new folder for this project and see how the Formtek File Linking Extension can help. So we'll go to the Projects folder and we'll create a new folder for my new project. So the new folder will be called Buried Traffic Analysis. Let's create that folder, and then let's go look for some files that we can link to this project folder. Scrolling down the list, we can see that there's a similar project that we've done in the past called the Emsworth Traffic Study. So let's go into that folder. And inside this folder, there's a statement of work for a traffic study that we've done in the past. So let's create a link to this document in our new project folder. So if I click the More button, that'll open a pop-up menu which allows me to choose the Create Link command. Choosing Create Link will open a pop-up dialog that allows me to choose the location for my new link. So you can see that it gives me the option of choosing a destination from sites, favorite sites, all sites, and so on. The specific site from the destination that I've chosen, and the specific path within the chosen site. So let's go up to the Bury Traffic Analysis folder and create the link there. Now you see that that brings up a pop-up message that tells me that one link was created. And if I look down at the statement of work document, you can see by the presence of this link icon here that a link has been generated. And hovering over that icon will give me a little message telling me that this document has one link. So let's go see if there are some other files that we can add. So let's go back to the projects list and we'll look down for some additional projects. So I can find a Monroeville traffic light analysis project that may have some helpful documents. Going into that folder, I can see that there's an engineering drawings folder that may have some useful AutoCAD drawings that I could refer to. So inside the engineering drawings folder, I've got a couple of different AutoCAD files. And what I'd like to do here is show how I can create links to multiple documents at one time. So I have the option of selecting both of these documents here, or I could choose the Select All command from here. And picking those documents will enable the Selected Items command. So picking that, I can go down and choose the Create Link command. And that'll bring up the same dialog that we saw before with the ability to choose the destination, site, and path. And there's a message on the top telling me that I will be creating a link for 2 items. So let's go up to my Berry Traffic Analysis folder and create the links there. And again, you can see that we have the pop-up that tells us that the links have been created, and we have new icons that have been added to each of these drawings telling me that each of these drawings have 1 link. So now let's go back to our Berry folder and see what these links look like. So now if I look inside my Berry folder, I can see that I have 3 links. And each of those links are identified by the presence of the word link at the end of the name. They're also identified as links by the presence of the link watermark over top of the thumbnail. And I have a similar icon off to the left, which tells me how many links have been created for this document overall. So if I look over to the right, you can see the different types of actions that are available for this item. So I have the option of locating the linked item. Now clicking this will take me to the location of the parent document. And you can see that it initially highlighted that document in yellow. This allows me to find the location of the original parent document. So let's go back to our Berry folder and look at the actions again. The other action I have available to me here is to delete the link. Now that will just delete this link from here. It won't have any effect whatsoever on the parent document. And the last action that's available to me is the ability to go to the details page and see a preview of this document. And I can do that by clicking directly on the name. Now you'll see that it's taken me directly into the Emsworth Traffic Study folder, which is the location of the parent document. It loads the preview and it gives me access to all the details. So now let's go back to the Berry product folder again. So now that I have some informational documents in this folder, let's go ahead and create the statement of work document for my new project. So I'll go to the Create menu, I'll go to Create Document from Template, and I'll choose my statement of work template. And so I'll go ahead and rename that accordingly. I'll call it Berry and give it the proper date. And we'll save that. Okay, so now let's say that I've done all the work that I need to do on the statement of work document and I need to start putting together the rest of the documents for my deliverable. Another way that I like to use the Formtek File Linking Extension is to organize standard documents that make up my final deliverable, such as marketing collateral. By making links to these standard documents in my project folder, it saves me from having to manage physical copies. Let's go to the marketing folder to see what standard documents I could find. Here we have a collection of documents that we use for marketing purposes, such as case studies, information about the company, and various types of data sheets that we use for different types of projects. So I want to add a pertinent case study to my project, information about the company, and some data sheets. So let's go create some links. Let's go into the case studies folder, and you can see that we have a handful of case studies that we've created. I have a folder above which has all of my original Microsoft Word files, and then the PDF files here that can be shared. So I have an Emsworth traffic analysis case study that I'd like to share, or that I'd like to link to my current project. Now looking at the link icon that's already there, I can see that this document has been linked to 3 additional projects. So I'll go over to my More command, down to Create Link, and choose my project folder, and Berry, and create that link. So again, I get the pop-up window telling me that the link has been created. And if I go hover over the icon, I can see that the counter has been increased from 3 links to 4 links. So let's go find some more documents. So in the company info folder, we have documents that show information about the company. So I'd like to link the About Us document to my folder as well. And again, hovering over the icon shows that this document has been linked to 8 different projects as well. So again, we go to the More command, Create Link, Projects, Berry, and Create. And again, we get the pop-up, and if we hover over the icon, we'll see that the counter has increased from 8 to 9. So the last documents I'd like to add are some data sheets. Now, in my datasheets folder, I have a collection of subfolders, which I use to organize datasheets for different types of projects. So in my traffic analysis datasheets folder, we have a collection of datasheets for various third-party products that we use for counting vehicles in traffic analysis projects. So I'd like to link both of these documents to my current project. So I can select both of these items, go up to Selected Items, Create Link, Projects, Bury, and Create. Again, I get a pop-up telling me that 2 links were created and the counters increment accordingly. So let's go back to our Bury project folder. So now if I look inside my Bury project folder, I can see that we have a large collection of links that we've created to help me with this project. So at this point I'm done doing the work on my statement of work document, and it's time to clean up all the documents that were linked to this file for informational purposes. So let's go ahead and choose the road plan and the traffic signs documents. And let's also remove the statement of work for the Emsworth project. And let's go up to selected items and say delete. And it'll prompt to ask me to confirm that I'd like to delete the links. And now that I've deleted those links, I'm left with the final deliverable from my project. And that concludes the demo portion of this video. The Formtek File Linking Extension runs on various versions of Alfresco 4 and Alfresco 5 on both Windows and Linux servers. Refer to the Formtek website for specific details about what operating systems and versions of Alfresco we support. The Formtek File Linking Extension also installs and uninstalls with easy-to-run command line scripts. This last slide displays a list of areas where you can find more information about the Formtek File Linking Extension and other Formtek Alfresco extensions. Thank you for watching.